Hello, it is the Politicrat Dispatch that you are watching. My name is Omar Moore, and as you can see over my shoulder, Biden Harris, yes, that is going to be the call for this November, and I predict they will have a second term in office. But of course, it's entirely up to you. You must vote. If you are registered to vote, then you can vote, and I strongly advise you to do so. If you are eligible to vote and you have not yet registered to vote, I strongly advise you to do so. You can go to vote.org. That's vote.org. Very, very easy. Get online. You are near a computer or a phone or at your local library. Type in vote.org, vote.org, and you, in about a minute and a half, can register to vote or check your voter registration to make sure it is still up to date and in order with no problems, of course. Because if there are any issues, you have enough time now in the month of June to make sure that they get fixed. So make sure you go to vote.org. Now, that's what you and I have to do. We have to check our voter registration or register to vote at vote.org. And we have to make sure that we have a plan to vote, that we do vote, of course, on November 5th, 2024. So that's what we have to do, you and I. What the Democratic Party has to do, not just with the Biden Harris campaign, but also throughout the country in local races, in state races, and of course on the federal level, when it comes to the United States Senate and the United States House, is to run against the Republican Party, run against the entire Republican Party, not just the opponent that you are facing in your election, but the entire party. Make sure you build a very powerful argument against the Republican Party that the fascist built of that party now is in very clear evidence. Point out that 147 members of Congress on the Republican side voted to overturn the 2020 election results. And many of those people are still in Congress right now, as I speak, as you watch this video. So make sure that you make that case. And that helps all these down ballot races. You can't just run against an orange felon. Now, of course, you can point out that that's exactly what he is. 34 felony counts, guilty, guilty, all the way through to 34. But you also have to talk, in addition to that, about the accomplishments of the Biden Harris administration, about all the bills that the House Democrats have managed to pass over the last couple of years. Point out the fact that the Republican Congress only passed 27 bills in 2023. Point out the fact that the Republican Party isn't governing and that all it cares about is power and wasting taxpayer money on investigations that have no merit to them whatsoever. The idea that you'd impeach President Biden or try to, and then you have to scrap it because, of course, there's no evidence in the first place. It's a waste of time, and point that out in all these races. The Democrats have to point that out. They have to talk about the record that the Democrats have done in all of these races in Congress, in the Biden Harris administration. The fact that you've lowered senior prescription drug prices to $35. I mean, that's staggering. And that you plan to do that for everyone else in the next 4 years. The fact that you have also managed to get rid of over $170 billion of student loan debt for over 5 million Americans. This is significant. The fact that you've created nearly 17 million jobs in the first 3 years of your administration, the fact that there's record low unemployment. I mean, there hasn't been unemployment in the United States this low for over 50 years. There's near record low Black unemployment, near record low Latino unemployment. You've lowered the deficit in this country, lowered the debt in the country. I mean, that's just a fraction of the accomplishments. You've prosecuted police officers under the Justice Department, under the tutelage of Kristen Clark. I mean, yeah, we didn't get the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act bill passed, but if you vote in a Democratic Congress, in the House and the Senate in November, and make sure that the White House stays here with Biden and Harris, you will get the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act passed. More likely than not. There's so many other accomplishments. Bipartisan gun legislation, the Infrastructure Act, the Rescue Act that put lots of money on the tables and in the mail for many people across this country. I mean, there's so many more things I could even talk about, but it would take more than the minutes it would take you to watch this for me to outline all these accomplishments. In fact, you can find out exactly all those accomplishments by going to whitehouse.gov/the record. That's whitehouse.gov/the record. And you will see all of the accomplishments of this administration, because there's still lots of people in this country who do not know about the accomplishments of this administration. They've accomplished so much. In fact, no president has accomplished as much good things as President Biden has domestically since LBJ in 1964 and thereabouts. Think about it. The Great Society programs of LBJ, that's back in the 60s. And President Biden has done some amazing things over these last 3+ years. And most people don't know about them because the campaign and the Democrats at large have not done a very good job of messaging the accomplishments. That needs to change. There also needs to be more outreach into Black voting communities all across the country, not just targeting ads, but really going in on the ground and speaking to Black people and listening to their concerns, and also talking about what you're going to do over these next 4 years. There's definitely lots of work to be done. There has to be a conversation about Project 2025, which is a far right-wing manifesto that Orange Felon will use if he gets back into power. And that involves deporting a lot of people who are citizens or not citizens alike. It involves scrapping the Department of Education. Imagine scrapping the Department of Education. I mean, Republicans all over the country in state houses are banning books. So really, it shouldn't be a surprise that the Republicans, these fascists, if they get back into power, this Orange Felon will use this far right-wing Project 2025 playbook to completely scrap the Department of Education. Those are just a few of the things that Project 2025 does. It's a 920 odd page manifesto. It's frightening, and you really should read it. I've posted it on social media on my Twitter handle at the popcorn, REEL. I posted it on several occasions, and I will post it again. In fact, I'll put a link to it with this video so that you yourself can read it. I'll also put a link to the Biden-Harris record, whitehouse.gov/the record, and I'll put a link to vote.org. So what I really would love for you to do right now after you watch this is register to vote. Or if you've already done that, check your voter registration. Thank you.